Welcome everybody to the construction update meeting for Sonia Sotomayor Middle School at Adelphi. In terms of logistics for this meeting, there is Spanish interpretation available by clicking the globe at the bottom of your screen. You can also get this on your computer by tapping the ellipsis and clicking language interpretation and then tap Spanish. You will notice as well there is an ASL interpreter on your screen. There will be a Q&A portion of this meeting at the end. However, if you have any questions throughout the meeting, please put them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. I will now turn this over to Jason Washington. You're on mute, Jason.
That would be helpful. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening for our construction town hall. Wanted to really highlight PGCPS's commitment to delivering safe, state-of-the-art, and sustainable learning environments for all of our stakeholders, students, teachers, and communities through a three-pronged process using traditional capital improvement, stage renovations, and the P3 procurement delivery approach that we're using now, known as Blueprint Schools. We are on track to deliver over 25 modernized school facilities in just 10 years. A lot of work that will go in to modernizing school facilities across the county. Next slide. Today's agenda will deal with team introductions, overview of project scope, construction overview, and question and answer period. I will state that we will totally confine our comments and discussion to construction activities. Any programmatic and operational questions we will hold those, and please ask that you hold those. We are going to do another town hall in the spring to allow for specific operational and programmatic questions that you may have in relation to Sonia Sotomayor Middle School. Next slide. Myself, Jason Washington, Director of the Office of Alternative Infrastructure Planning and Development, in short, Blueprint Schools, and I will turn it to my partner in this endeavor, Ms. Brandy McDonald.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brandy Rogers McDonald. I'm actually the principal in charge for PGCECP, which is the project code for this entire project.
Hi, good evening. My name is Christian Broyles. I'm the project executive for Gilbane Building Company. We are the builders of the current 6 Blueprint schools. I myself oversee construction of 4 of the Blueprint schools, one of which being Sonia Sotomayor Middle School. I'll turn it over to another Gilbane team member, Tony Grab, who's the project manager.
Thanks, Christian. Good evening. My name is Tony Grab. As Christian mentioned, I am the project manager for the Sonia Sotomayor School. Not with us today is Brian Molenchek and Michael Ricketts. They are executive level members on our team as well. And with that, I'll hand it over to Jose.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Jose Lopez, project manager from Braceville and Dunleavy, helping with Jason Washington, the PGCPS team. Nice. I think that's it.
My apologies. A little bit about project scope. We are currently in construction. The school is approximately 144,800 square feet. That will hold over occupancy of 1,200 students located at the location of old Adelphi Elementary School on Riggs Road. One specific school enhancement will be the multi-purpose field that will be part of the school will be artificial turf. And that is because it is the only playing field for the campus and was done to ensure the longevity of the playing surface when we expected there to be significant community use of the area as well. Next slide. And Tony, if you can give us a rundown of the construction overview.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Jason. Yep. As you can see there, this is, our path to get us to the finish line. So just recently we achieved our building watertight. So, we have all of our exterior panels on. We're just finishing up the last few windows and exterior doors at the main entrances. At the beginning of December, we're showing, we're on track to start our finishes. To start our flooring, our rough carpentry, our all of our casework, our kitchen equipment, all that good stuff. Right around December timeframe. Right after that, we are scheduled to start our HVAC system. So you'll, if you're near the site, you'll see the air handling units show up and be set on the roofs. From there, we'll start our commissioning process, making sure all of our systems are balanced and up and running using the permanent HVAC system. And then we'll move right into, getting all of our final inspections. All of our site work will be buttoned up, all of our landscaping. And then, we'll open it up for FF&E install, all of the, the owner furnishing and equipment, all of our casework, any equipment, any chairs, desks, that sort of things. And then turn over the project on July 15th.
Which is just to make one point, which is the scheduled delivery time. So in short, the school is on time and will be ready for next academic school year.
Yep. So just a couple, major kind of milestones were complete to date. So as I mentioned there, all of our exterior panels are installed. We do have our roofing membrane installed. One thing you'll start to see in the coming week here is our canopy on the main entrance. So there's a bit of a steel structure that needs to get installed. We're working on the foundations the latter half of this week. And then there's also, obviously a roofing portion to that as well. So that's the last major component. We wanted to kind of hold off on that and just be strategic with getting materials into the building and whatnot. All of our primary and secondary steers obviously complete. All of our interior CMU walls, primarily in the gym and the locker room areas, and then a little bit in the music and the dance room for acoustical purposes, where we have CMU block walls. Currently in progress, as I mentioned, we're finishing up our last few bit of exterior windows. Pretty big milestone for us is, we have all of our interior stud walls framed out, and we have started one side and closing in our drywall, our walls with drywall. So, they're mudding and taping. The next phase is to start painting the drywall and then, proceed with install of ceiling grids. So that's a pretty exciting milestone for us. All of our overhead MEP rough-in, so all your mechanical, electrical, plumbing is progressing well. What we call the classroom wing of the portion of the building on the west side of the site. We're just about finished up with all of our overhead rough-in, and we are moving into the kitchen area, which is on the northeast side of the site. Which is, just as planned. So that the next step would be moving to the gym and finish up the locker rooms. Our main mechanical and electrical rooms are progressing well. We have all of our overhead roughing complete. We did start setting all the mechanical equipment in the mechanical rooms last week. So that's all on track and progressing well. Our parking lot grading, I think there's a picture on the next few slides here, but we did grade the parking lot. We have proceeded with curb and gutter, and we actually did pave the vehicular portion of the parking area. So that was a big milestone for us as well to get out of the mud, start getting a hold of some of this dust, especially going into these winter months here to get that. So the next big push with the parking lot is to finish up a few utilities at the main entrance and then kind of connect the entrance to the back vehicular parking area and open that up to some of the workers. So you may see a few workers on the parking on the site. That's that was planned just so we can open up and get the last bit of utilities installed before we can open up the permanent parking on site. As I mentioned, we are finishing up a little bit of our underground utilities at the main entrance, and that will progress for another month or so. Our elevator equipment is actually showing up tomorrow, which is exciting. So we'll proceed to start to install that. We're working to get that installed, and we'll be able to open that up for temporary use to move equipment up and down, and then obviously eventually turn over for final use. Curb and gutter and base coat, as I mentioned, we did pave a portion of the vehicle parking area. The next phase will be then the entrance and then the bus loop. So if you want to go back a slide real quick, we can kind of just point that out with the review. Yeah, maybe one more.
One more. I think it's the agenda.
There you go. Yep. Yeah, perfect. So right there, we paved the portion to the south. And then the next push will be on the right-hand side there is to get that road coming down to the south from the entrance connected to that, and then we'll pave the bus loop there. So exciting stuff going on the site. This, as Jason mentioned, the turf field that is to final grade, but we will work on installing that in the springtime. All right, so this is this picture here. As we mentioned, we did pave this is the asphalt vehicular parking area. This is looking from the west facing east, southeast, and then just kind of rotated to the north. And the next picture is the building there. So as you can see, all of our exterior metal panels, our windows are installed. The building's at final grade, so we're finishing up a little bit of final storm to tie in the roof drains. So that's what's going on there. Slide. So here on the left-hand side, you're looking into the gym portion. So this is facing the stage, looking east. So we have this picture is a little bit older, but we're progressing well. We do have all the stud walls framed in this area. All the ductwork in this area has been installed. So this area, one of the interesting features is obviously there's the gym floor. So we're working to get all the overhead, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, rough-in, all the walls painted, everything before installing the gym flooring. So that's kind of the big focus in there, is making sure we have everything installed and the building is, acclimated properly so that so as to not, disturb the wood flooring. The picture to the right is looking in the cafeteria area in the dining, and that's facing to the center of the building, facing west. So you can see a lot of the overhead, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing is installed. To the left is the gym, and to the right is the dance area. So as we mentioned, all the interior CMU block is complete. Next slide. On the left-hand side here, you can see one of the classrooms. As we mentioned, we are closing in the walls, so you can see the drywall, they're mudding and taping. They are, as I mentioned, this picture is a little bit older, so we are working on all of our overhead branch circuitry for our lighting. So that'll allow us to then, paint the walls and then install the ceiling grid, and then move forward flooring and so on and so forth through the finish process. On the right-hand side, this is in the library area facing towards the center of the building, looking east. So you can see a lot of our walls are framed out in this area. Again, all the overhead electrical and plumbing is installed. So then the next phase here is to start closing in these walls as well. Next slide. And then these are some final renderings. So on the left-hand side there was a finished rendering of the last picture you saw of the library portion. And I believe this is facing towards the center of the building. And then in the center picture here is looking at what we call the learning stair from the cafeteria side. So the idea here is a nice community space, where the students can put on presentations and display artwork. And so it's also serves as an access up to the second floor. So there are 3 staircases on the classroom side where there's a second level, and this is also a means of access and egress into the second floor there. On the right-hand side, this is looking down one of the corridors. So the corridors are very similar on the classroom wing of the building. So this could be facing either direction, but you can see the lockers on the right-hand side there. And then there's a few of these kind of communal spaces where, students can interact with each other and teachers as well.
Thank you so much, Tony. Jason, before we get into Q&A, did you have any additional comments?
No, we can go right into question and answer. Thanks so
Okay.
much, Tony.
As I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, if you have any questions, please post them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Please note, as Jason mentioned, we will only be addressing construction update and logistics questions. All programming and operational questions will be addressed in the spring.
Any questions? Additionally, all questions that are posed here will be addressed and answered both here and will be placed on the project website. The first question regarding uniform colors, unfortunately, we don't have that information. That will be coming later in the spring with on the operations and program side.
Next question is, how many levels will the building have? They had mentioned that they saw the elevator installation.
Yep. So the building has, it may be helpful if you go back to the kind of the overview there. So there's what we call the classroom and the administration wing. So that portion of the building has 2 levels on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, that's a single level. So where you have the gym and, with the cafeteria, the kitchen, the dance rooms, that's a single level. So the elevator kind of resides just to the left of the center portion of the building there. And then, as I mentioned, there's a staircase, 3 staircases, one to the north on what we call the classroom wing on the left-hand side, one on the south, and then one all the way on the left-hand side to the west. And then the learning stair kind of is right in the middle of the building. And then there's bridges and kind of a big atrium in the middle, kind of splitting the 2 classrooms. And then there's, what we call bridges or walkways that connect the 2 classroom wings on both the left and right-hand sides of the buildings.
Thank you, Tony. Any additional questions?
Well, I would like to thank everybody for participating and thank our panelists for joining and our support interpreters for their support tonight. Again, if there are any questions that may come up later or any clarifications that are necessary, please feel free to reach out to PGCPSBlueprintSchools.com. Leave a question. We will respond to it, and it will be posted publicly for everyone to see. Additionally, this presentation will be added to the program website as well under the Adelphi, under the Sonia Sotomayor Middle School at Adelphi page, and there will be the video will be on it. And along with other pertinent updated information related to the school. With that, I would like to say thank you for your time. Have a great rest of the day, and we'll talk with you all later. Thank you so much.